My name is Tina, and I want to tell you about the day everything changed for me. It was a warm Saturday morning in July. My husband David was making breakfast, while our 3-year-old daughter Emma played with her blocks on the living room floor. The smell of pancakes filled our small apartment, and sunlight streamed through the kitchen window. "Honey," David called from the kitchen, "my brother called yesterday. He invited us to the beach house next weekend. What do you think?" I felt my stomach drop. The beach. That meant swimsuits, shorts, and tank tops. It meant showing my body to the world. Since Emma was born, I had avoided the beach completely. "I don't know," I said quietly. "Maybe you two should go without me." David walked into the living room, syrup still dripping from the spoon in his hand. "Come on, Tina, it'll be fun. Emma would love to build sandcastles with her mom." Emma looked up from her blocks. Her big brown eyes sparkled with excitement. "Mommy, can we go to the beach, please? I want to see the ocean." How could I say no to that face? "Okay, sweetheart, we'll go to the beach." That afternoon, I stood in our bedroom staring at my closet. In the back, behind all my loose sweaters and baggy pants, hung my old swimsuits. I hadn't worn one since before Emma was born. I pulled out a bright blue bikini that I used to love. The fabric felt foreign in my hands. 3 years ago, this swimsuit made me feel confident and beautiful. Now it seemed like it belonged to a different person. Taking a deep breath, I closed the bedroom door and slowly put on the bikini. When I looked in the mirror, my heart sank. My stomach was covered with silver stretch marks that looked like lightning across my skin. The loose skin around my middle hung differently than before. My hips were wider, and my breasts had changed shape completely. Just then, David walked into the room without knocking. "Hey, have you seen my sunglasses?" he asked. Then he stopped and looked at me. "Oh, wow, you used to fit into that easily." The words hit me like a punch to the stomach. He said it casually, almost laughing, like it was a funny observation. But to me, those words were devastating. I stared at myself in the mirror. All I could see were the changes, the imperfections, the ways my body had failed to return to what it was before. I didn't see the body that had grown and carried our beautiful daughter. I only saw failure. "I can't go," I whispered. David realized his mistake immediately. "Tina, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. You look beautiful." But it was too late. The damage was done. "I said I can't go," I shouted, pulling on my bathrobe. "Tell Emma we're not going to the beach." I canceled the trip that day. When Emma asked why we weren't going, I told her Mommy wasn't feeling well. The disappointment in her eyes made me feel even worse. That evening, I took all my pretty clothes out of the closet. The dresses, the fitted shirts, the nice jeans, everything that showed my figure went into garbage bags. If I couldn't be beautiful anymore, I wouldn't pretend to be. From that day forward, I only wore loose sweatpants and oversized t-shirts. I told myself it was more comfortable, but the truth was, I was hiding. I was hiding from my husband, from strangers, and most of all, from myself. Months passed. I felt like I had disappeared completely. I wasn't Tina anymore. I was just Emma's mom. I was the woman who made lunches and changed diapers and read bedtime stories. The woman I used to be, the one who danced and laughed and felt beautiful, was gone. David tried to help. He complimented me, bought me flowers, and suggested date nights. But I couldn't hear his kind words over the loud voice in my head that said I wasn't good enough anymore. One rainy Thursday afternoon, Emma was drawing at the kitchen table while I prepared her snack. She was using her favorite crayons, making careful strokes on the white paper. "Mommy, look what I made!" she called excitedly. I walked over to see her drawing. It was a picture of a woman with long brown hair like mine, but this woman was wearing a cape and had her arms stretched out like she was flying. Who is this, sweetheart? I asked. It's you, Mommy. You're a superhero. I looked closer at the drawing. Emma had colored lines on the woman's stomach, squiggly silver lines that looked remarkably like stretch marks. What are these lines on her tummy? I asked softly. Emma pointed to the marks with her tiny finger. Those are your tiger stripes, Mommy. They show that you're really, really strong. Tiger stripes? I repeated. Yes, tigers have stripes because they're powerful and brave. You have stripes too, because you carried me in your tummy. Daddy told me that. He said you're the strongest person he knows. Tears began to fall down my cheeks. I knelt down next to Emma's chair and looked at her drawing again. In her eyes, I wasn't ugly or damaged. I was powerful. I was strong. I was a superhero. Do you really think I look like a superhero? I asked. Emma nodded enthusiastically. The strongest superhero in the whole world. That night, after Emma was asleep, I stood in front of my bedroom mirror again, but this time, instead of seeing all the things I thought were wrong with my body, I tried to see what Emma saw. These stretch marks weren't ugly scars. They were proof of the amazing thing my body had done. I had grown a human being inside me. I had given life to the most precious person in my world. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in months. I put on that blue bikini again. My hands were shaking, but I was determined. David, is that beach house still available? 3 days later, we were at the beach. I walked across the hot sand in my blue bikini, holding Emma's hand. Some people might have been looking at me, but I didn't care anymore. Emma ran toward the ocean, squealing with delight as the waves touched her toes. Mommy, come play with me. I ran into the water after her, splashing and laughing as we played together. For the first time in months, I felt like myself again. Not just a mother, but a woman who happened to be a mother. A strong woman. A woman with tiger stripes. Thank you for watching English Practice Library. If this story helped you practice your English, please like the video. It really supports the channel. And if you want more calm, level-based English stories like this, subscribe to English Practice Library. See you in the next story.